Welcome back everyone. Today we'll recap a 2016 British supernatural horror film named Don't Knock Twice. Before we start, it is a request to please like and comment on the video as it will help us to grow our reach. At the beginning of the movie, we see a couple, Jessica and Ben. Jessica came after 9 years to take her estranged daughter Chloe back from the foster home from her prior marriage. 9 years ago, Jessica was a drug addict, and because she could not properly care for her daughter, he sent her to a foster home. Now after the second marriage, she was settled and her drug habit was also left, so she wanted Chloe to be with her now. But Chloe refuses to go with her, saying where she was when she needed her the most. She tells her not to come here again or try to contact her, and then she leaves from there. Jessica is a sculptor, and because of all this, she was not able to concentrate on her work. Jess's model Tira sees her worried and gives her a locket. She tells her that this is Tala's and that its magic will help her daughter see the love in her heart. That night, Chloe meets her boyfriend Danny, and they see some kids running after knocking on someone's door. Danny reminds her of when they used to play that game and tells her to see Mary's house now. Then he takes her outside Mary's house and tells her that Mary is now dead. They reckon it's still trapped and they're waiting for someone to knock. If you knock on her door, she still hears it. Sooner or later she comes knocking for you. To which Chloe tells that the witch took her friend Michael. Then Danny says that these are just stories, and he goes and knocks on the door twice. Seeing him, Chloe also knocks on the door. And while they are leaving from there, Chloe sees someone in the window who suddenly disappears from there. Then she sees that Danny has disappeared from there, who suddenly comes from behind and scares her, and then both of them leave there. Danny starts experiencing paranormal occurrences and he sees an apparition in the mirror. Now before he could understand anything, someone knocks on his door twice, and when he looks out of the keyhole, all the lights of the hallway get turned off, and then he sees the same apparition there who calls out his name. Then he sees the spirit of Mary inside the house who tells him that it's coming and asks him to get out and run. Danny turns on the lights and the spirit disappears when he gets a video call from Chloe. Danny tells her that he is not feeling right. Someone knocks on Chloe's door twice, so she goes to check. Then suddenly an unseen force picks up Danny in the air and drags him away. When Chloe returns, she does not see Danny, and suddenly an evil spirit appears on the screen. The next day she tries to contact Danny, but she is unable to connect with him. Then later she gets a call from Danny who tells her to run for her life. Then she receives a live photo of her and there is a knock at the door twice. Then the lights of the room are turned off and the sink starts filling with blood, out of which an entity starts coming out. Chloe is scared of this and starts screaming for help. Only then a housekeeper opens the door and everything becomes normal. Here Jessica and Ben notice that someone has come to their house. They think a thief has entered, but she is Chloe. She asks them to stay there and both of them are very happy that she is there. Jessica shows her her room and says that if she needs anything, room is across the hall. The next night at dinner, Jessica serves Chloe corn and coriander soup. They all were talking when Chloe finds a human molar in her soup. She throws the soup bowl and then goes to her room. Now the next day Ben goes out for a work trip for a few days, and that night Jess suffers from a nightmare about an old woman crying in her house. In her nightmare, the woman looks at Jess and says "I'm sorry" in Polish before slitting her own throat, and then she decomposes. When she wakes up, Chloe is standing in her room, which frightens her. Jess tells her about her dream and finding this description familiar. Chloe tells her about Mary Aminov, the supposed witch that used to live next door. After her death by suicide, an urban legend started that she would come and get you if you knock twice on her door. The next day Jess's model Tira comes to their house but gets disturbed by Chloe's presence and leaves. Jess finds this strange and asks Tira what is going on, to which she tells her that she cannot help Chloe as there is darkness around her and she is marked by something terrible. Next, Jess sees Detective Boardman asking Chloe some questions. He tells Jess that Chloe's friend Danny has been reported missing. He then tells Jess that he has known Chloe and Danny since childhood, ever since their friend Michael disappeared, and that they thought Mary had something to do with it. They hounded her and kept knocking on her door night after night until she killed herself. Boardman reveals that he believed them and had also done the investigation. Chloe tells him that they knocked on Mary's door, so she took him, and now she is coming for her. Boardman says that Mary is dead, so she cannot do this now, and hearing this Chloe leaves there in anger. Later she searches about this over the internet and tells Jess that she believes to be haunted by Baba Yaga, a demonic witch from Slavic folklore. It is also known as the Dark Mother or Evil Hag, who opens the doorway between hell and the men world so that she can devour the innocent. But the demon's power is limited, so she needs the help of a human slave to help do her bidding here on Earth. A human slave can be identified by a mark on them, and she bet Mary had that mark. The first knock raises the demon and the second knock summons the human slave, and the only way that the human slave can be free of the demon is if they kill themselves and if they trick someone else into replacing them by forcing them to do something truly evil. Jessie feels all this is insane, and only then does Chloe see a dark entity in the mirror instead of Jess's reflection, and she leaves. The next day we see Chloe at Jess's studio where she sculpts a structure of Baba Yaga. Seeing this, Jess calls her to her and shows her how to work with clay. Chloe slowly warms up to her mother and she discusses her childhood memories with her. Jess says that she was ill then and felt that she was not safe with her, so she sent her to the foster home. Later she wanted to bring her back, but they did not allow her. Then when she goes to get a soft drink for Chloe, the sculptures themselves move toward Chloe. Jess feels that Chloe has done this, so she scolds her, on which Chloe gets angry and leaves there. The next day, Chloe's warden from her foster home comes there. At that time Chloe was placing Jess delivery boxes in her workshop, and when Jess goes to the workshop, she discovers her workshop in shambles with "She's mine" scrawled on the floor. Jess feels that Chloe has done this and she gets very angry at her, but Chloe says that she has not done it. Warden tells Jess that if she feels she is unable to cope, Chloe can always come back to them. Now at night Chloe is packing to go back, but Jess tells her how much she loves her and she is not sending her anywhere. Then Jess sees a cloth outside the house and thinks that someone is there. She takes a knife and goes there to check, and then all the lights in the house go off. Here Chloe starts looking for Jess, and Jess tries to come inside the house, but an unseen force does not allow her to do so. Inside, Mary's spirit tells Chloe to run away, fearing that she hides in her room. That's when she sees Baba Yaga coming out of the closet and crawling toward her. But before she can catch her, Jess comes there and helps her get out of the room. Jess sees that no one is in the room, but Chloe is very scared. She goes to her and pacifies her, saying that there is no one in there. After this, together they remove all the doors of the house and set them on fire, as these doors acted as portals for Baba Yaga. Now the next morning they are leaving the house when a portal opens and Chloe starts levitating in the air. Then some force throws her, due to which she also gets hurt. Then the force starts dragging her inside the portal, but Jess somehow manages to save her and the door disappears from there. They then meet Tira and ask her for help. Jess asks her about Baba Yaga, but she says this is not right and they should not believe everything they read on the internet. She says that Mary was never a witch, because Chloe helped spread the false rumor of witchcraft. Mary's spirit wants revenge. Chloe flees in panic, convinced that the disappearances were her fault. Tira tells Jess that the only way to save Chloe is clear Mary's name by finding out who really took Michael, and in this Mary may guide her. Jess sees that Chloe is not there, which makes her very upset, and she calls Boardman and asks who was the other suspect in Michael's case other than Mary. Boardman tells that he does not recall anyone and chances are he just ran away. After this, when she sits in the car, she finds a half-face of sculpture there, from which she understands that it is Mary's spirit guiding her. From there she goes straight to her studio, where she finds a box inside the statue containing the files of Michael and Mary, and a pen drive. She finds a video in which Boardman is very angrily interrogating Mary. In the next scene, we see Jess in the foster home where they are questioning her because they found Chloe in a very bad condition on the street. They felt that Jess had started taking drugs again, so she could not handle Chloe properly. They asked her to get her tests done and apply for custody again. Suddenly she sees that Boardman is present in every picture there, and this makes her suspect that Boardman may have a hand in Michael's kidnapping. So she brings Chloe with her from there. She then calls Tira for help, on which Tira asks them to meet her at the park. Chloe stops at a place and says thanks to Jess, and then suddenly there is a knock twice on the sewer below her and she falls inside it. After this, Jess breaks into Mary's abandoned house, injuring her foot on an old nail. That's when the police come there to catch her. But before leaving, she knocks on Mary's door twice so that Baba Yaga can take her into her world and she can somehow save Chloe. At the police station, Boardman interrogates Jess because he feels that Jess has done something bad to Chloe. Jess tells him that Chloe has been taken by Mary, but he doesn't believe her. Then she blames him for the kidnapping of Michael and says that he was closer to the children than Mary, and then he scared her so much that she killed herself. Hearing all this, Boardman does not say anything and silently leaves from there. When Jess is alone in her prison cell, she scratches her injury and writes something on the wall with her blood, after which Baba Yaga comes there and opens the portal to her world and Jess enters it. Here in the police station, The lights start flickering, and when Boardman goes to the cell to check, Jess is not there, and it was written on the wall that you know where to find me. Here in the world of Baba Yaga, Chloe is kept in a cage. Here Michael comes to her, who was still a child. Then Baba Yaga comes there and catches Michael and eats him. Jess wanders into a cave where she finds a cage with Chloe in it. Jess gets her out and Baba Yaga pursues them. She is about to catch them, but in the meantime, Boardman arrives at the witch's home and knocks on her door twice, thereby diverting Baba Yaga's attention towards him. The pair are able to escape through the front door, but Boardman is dragged inside by the witch. The next day, Ben returns home and is confronted by a mysterious figure in their bedroom. Jess and Chloe arrive home but find Ben missing. Tira is shown leaving the property covered in blood with Ben's dead body in the trunk of her car. The slave of Baba Yaga symbol is shown on her chest. Jess informs Chloe that Boardman was the culprit, but Chloe reveals that while in the other world she saw Danny, that he was indeed taken by Mary and fed to Baba Yaga, and that Boardman was innocent. It's then that Jess realizes that Tira lied and tricked her into offering Boardman's life to Baba Yaga in order to transfer the demon to Jess. Jess is surprised by a sudden burning sensation from her necklace and realizes that she now has the mark of Baba Yaga. The room goes dark and there are 2 knocks at the door. As it opens, the figure of Baba Yaga reaching toward them is the last thing seen before the film ends. Please do like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon never to miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.